yogis. Hope you're doing well in this wonderful quarantine life that we're living. To start our practice today in this series of beginning your yoga practice at home, we're going to begin with some breath work, just to kind of help us get through our day-to-day days here at home. We started to talk yesterday in our first video about Ujjayi breath, which is actually means victorious breath. And a wonderful way to actually really learn this and to kind of center yourself throughout this uncertain times that we're living in right now is just close your eyes. And then open your mouth, and halfway through inhaling through your mouth, I want you to close your mouth and continue to take the breath in through your nose. I want you to feel the vibration and the texture in your throat, almost like that Darth Vader breath that they say a lot. Now hold that breath for a moment. And I like to ask my students to even just hold it for a moment and find a few beats of your heart. Now open your mouth and exhale out like you're going to fog a mirror. Halfway through exhaling out, close your mouth and continue to empty out that breath through your nose. Once you are completely empty, I want you to feel your navel pulling in and pulling up, as though you're kind of just hugging yourself inside. We call that it's one of the locks in our body. We call it the Uddiyana Bandha. And then again, relax your belly, inhale in again with your mouth open. Halfway through, close your mouth and continue to take that breath in. When you are ready to exhale, open your mouth like you're going to fog a mirror. Halfway through exhaling, close your mouth and continue to empty the breath. Great. Open your eyes. So that's just getting a little bit more into what I just kind of introduced to you yesterday. So there's your pranayama breath. There's your Ujjayi breath that we use throughout our yoga practice. To start today, we're going to come into child's pose. We call this child's pose. It's balasana. It also means wind release pose. So I'm going to come down and stretch my fingers forward. I'm going to reach my hips back, and you'll hear a lot in yoga practice talking about tension lines in your body. So here's my fingers reaching forward, and here's my hip creases stretching back. I'm going to let my head come down to the floor, and I'm going to start to continue that Ujjayi breath. I'm going to pause. I want to retain that breath and hold it for a little bit, and then exhale out. Now in this next inhale, you're going to pull your body forward into tabletop. And now as you inhale, I want you to round your back into this rounded cat position. And then go ahead now and release that and stretch your chest through the gateway of your arms, coming into what we refer to as cow pose. This is a nice way, again, to open your shoulders to begin your practice. Go ahead and inhale and round. Exhale and pull through. Now let's come down onto our elbows, and we're going to open our shoulders a little bit today. So as you take hold of your biceps, and I'm going to bring my hands out in front. So where I hold my biceps, I just want to make sure my elbows are not going any further than the width of my shoulders. And then I'm going to bring my hands out in front. As I sit, the creases of my hips back, as I sit back towards my heels, I'm going to take my hands and place my hands to the back of my neck. Now while I'm here again, I'm going to be practicing that Ujjayi breath, inhaling in, vibration in the back of your throat. You could still do it halfway with mouth open, halfway with mouth closed. Just start to understand and start to come into the full sensation of that breath. In this position, now we're in right here. It's a wonderful shoulder opener. My elbows are reaching forward, my hips are reaching back. So again, it's a little similar to child's pose, but this is just getting into the back of my shoulders a little bit more. I'm going to bring my hands down. And then I'm going to bring myself all the way forward onto my belly. I'm going to bring your elbows underneath your shoulders. Roll your shoulders up and back. And to help really release my back, I'm going to lift my right leg up and roll my inner thigh to the ceiling. Why am I doing that? I just want to create a little extra space in my sacrum. I'm going to lift my right leg up and I'm going to roll my inner thigh to the ceiling. Notice when you place your legs back down, you're going to feel a little bit more of a sensation in the sacrum area. With my elbows on the floor, I'm going to start to traction my chest forward as I slide and roll my shoulders back. So everything is loosey-goosey from my hips going down to my toes, but the action is here between my gated arms, pulling my heart forward through the gateway of my arms. Let your head gaze slightly forward, or let it relax a little bit. But don't look up, and don't look down. You're cutting off the airway. Just find a little neutral spot. From here, we're going to come back onto our knees, and we're going to reach back into another position that's similar to child's pose, but this one is called embryo. Our hands reach back towards our feet. Feel free to take this position anytime you need to, even in the middle of the grocery store. No, I'm kidding. And then slowly begin to rise up. We're going to come up to stand. And you're going to bring your hands right onto your hip bones right here. Bring your feet right underneath your hips. And you want to feel your hip bones reaching up. You want to feel your sternum reaching up to the crown of your head. I always try to tell my students, think of an arrow. So the front of the body is lengthening up, 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 up to the crown of the head, and then it's lengthening down through the tailbone, rooting yourself through the heels. I want you to feel all 4 points of those feet pressing down, the big toe mound, the pinky toe, the inside of the heel, the outside of the heel, and then draw the energy up. When you turn on your quadricep muscles, you will actually feel your kneecaps lift. And then as you start to lengthen and reach your hip bones up towards your navel and reach your sternum up towards the crown of your head, have the exhale going down the body, lengthening the tailbone down to the backs of the knees and down to your heels. The arms come out to the side. I like to say open to receive, palms forward. And then here you are, mountain pose, right? And try to take this. It's a beautiful, steady place to just be. My toes are active. In my practice, I feel all 4 points of my feet down. And my toes are always active as they're on the earth, especially when I'm also walking around the room teaching. Now let's take an inhale in and reach your arms up. Exhale, hands to heart. Keep that ujjayi breath going. Inhale. Exhale. This time as you inhale up, open the arms wide and let's swan dive forward. This one feels really good. As you come forward, the inner thighs roll back. Beautiful. As your hands come down to the floor, you're going to bring your chest forward as you reach your arms back. My palms are facing down and my thumbs are reaching up. And I like to use this one as my little halfway lift, Adho Uttanasana. This one here allows me to keep my chest going forward as I pull my hips back. If you have 2 blocks, or remember I said yesterday 2 paper towels, you could put them on, your hands on them. But what I'm looking for here is a flat back. I'm looking for your chest reaching forward, your hips reaching back, and then keep everything we just talked about, a mountain pose in your legs. Draw the energy up the legs. My chest is also still going forward, just as I was describing when we were in that Sphinx pose. Now, bend your knees, and then reach your arms up and come into chair pose. As I turn to the side again, you see me sitting in chair pose. My back is a little stiff, so my chair is very different than other people's, so never compare yourself to others. My chair doesn't go down as deep. But I take this lengthening of my tailbone down, and my hip bones up. So again, the front of my body is lengthening up, the back of the body is reaching down. One huge U-turn all the way down. Take another breath in, gaze up. As you exhale and you bow down, pull your belly in. Feel that bandha. We'll just talk about that bandha today. The Uddiyana bandha, the belly pulling in and sliding up underneath your rib cage a little bit. So you're just kind of hugging yourself. Envision that, you have a golf ball right there, and then I always kind of say, which is kind of silly, that you've got a donut around it, and you're just kind of hugging it in, pull up and underneath your ribs. With your hands on the floor, let's step the left foot back, step the right foot back, and let's come into our first downward facing dog. As you come into your first downward facing dog, your knees might be bent. That's okay, because look where the tension line is. The hands on the floor, look at my hips, reaching back, reaching back. Sometimes I actually start my practice like this. I want to reach forward as I push back. And then I slowly start to reach for my heels down to the mat. Do my heels ever touch the mat? No. But it is the direction that my heels are going. I want to press down through the inside of my heels. And what is that doing? That is rolling my inner thighs back. I'm pressing down with the tips of my fingers, as we talked about in video 1. I'm reaching back through my sternum towards my navel. There's so much more that we could talk about here. But the best thing for you to actually do is to feel your way through. Feel the action, feel the elbows. Bend the elbows a little bit, and then wrap them in, so like you're going to squeeze a beach ball. And there's the action of wrapping the armpits in. Now let's pull forward into high plank, and then bring your knees to the floor. Now as you shimmy forward, coming into chaturanga on the knees, you shimmy forward, elbows along your side. Your sternum again is reaching forward, the tailbone is reaching to the back of the knees. As I come down, nice and slow. Now I'm going to roll my shoulders back, squeeze my elbows towards each other as I bring myself into Cobra. Do you know that you can also always just keep Sphinx pose in your practice? This is really my favorite position. Had back surgery 14 years ago. So this actually is a wonderful place for me to be. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders, come back to the knees, and reach all the way back to down dog. Look forward to the top of the mat, and then just start to walk forward nice and slow. I want to feel my way through my yoga practice. I want to feel the backs of my thighs. I want to feel the backs of my knees. And when I get forward, maybe I need to bend my knees a lot. Maybe there, I'm pulling my belly in still, and I'm relaxing my head down, nice and heavy. Now bring your hands onto your blocks. Pull yourself into a halfway lift. Or if you want, you can up level with the hands along the side. I like the arms along the side because see when my hands lift and my thumbs turn up, I'm actually squeezing my shoulder blades in towards my spine. And then I'm pulling my inner thighs back, pulling my hips back as I'm stretching my sternum forward. Now bend your knees and sit to chair pose. Beautiful. Take another breath in. Exhale, stand tall. Hands to heart center. Excellent. We're going to do one round of kneeling lunges in the sun salutation C. So reach your arms up tall, exhale and bow low. Take your blocks, step the left foot back, place the left knee down, bring the blocks with you. Touch your hands to the floor, roll your shoulders back. Now as you exhale, bring your hands, your blocks out to the side, step back to down dog. Come forward, bring your knees to the floor. Shimmy your body forward, lower down nice and slow. Roll your shoulders up and back. And then roll back to the knees and reach back to dog. As you breathe in, you're going to step the left foot forward now, coming into kneeling lunge. Drop the right knee down. Grab the blocks. Bring the blocks along your side. Use that long, long inhale to lift your chest up. Use that long, long exhale to bring the blocks forward, empty out, and step to the top of the mat. Inhale, pull your body to that halfway lift. We're adding the chair pose into this sun salutation. Exhale, let's sit into chair pose. Inhale, stand tall, hands to heart. Going over with the right side now. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, hands touch the block. Step the right foot back in a kneeling lunge. Bring the blocks back along your side. Maybe this time you reach your arms up, or you use the hands to press down to lift your chest up. Bring the blocks out to the side as you empty out. Come into down dog. As you come forward, inhale, knees to the floor. As you exhale, lower down, chaturanga, nice and slow. Roll the shoulders up and back, come into Cobra. Roll back to the knees and reach back to dog. Now, as soon as you go back there, inhale and step the right foot forward to lunge. Grab the blocks, bring them along your side and lift your chest up. Inhaling. Bring the blocks to the top of the mat. Notice I'm going to touch these blocks or paper towels or 2 heavy water bottles. Step forward and fold. Inhale, pull your body to a halfway lift. Exhale, let's sit to chair pose. Inhale, stand tall, hands to heart. Excellent. All right. Today we're going to actually step into Warrior One. Yesterday we stepped out to the side and brought it side to side. But as we go through the sun salutations, the Surya Namaskars, Warrior One is sun salutation 1. So as you go into this, this sun salutation with the Warrior Ones, I'm going to have you step forward. We'll hold it. We'll talk about a couple of points of holding that Warrior One, and then we'll switch sides. So inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, bring yourself to a halfway lift. Exhale and step back into downward facing dog. As you inhale, take the right leg up. As you exhale, step the right foot next to the right pinky. I'm going to pause here for a moment. Notice I walked my left foot over and the foot's turning inward. I'm also going to want you to ask you to stay here for a moment and put your hands on your blocks. I want you to pull the right hip back as you roll your left hip forward. Okay? So this goes in the whole Surya Namaskar B. Reach the left arm forward, reach the right arm forward, and then start to rise up. Keep rolling the left hip forward. Lift your hip bones up. Now find that tension line of pushing forward with the right inner thigh as you're pushing away with the outside of the left foot. And breathe in. And breathe out. Hip bones up, shoulders relaxed. Try to think of everything strong from the floor up to the hips. From the hips up to the tips of the fingers. Let the breath flow. Let it move you. Let it relax you. Now bring your hands down to the floor. Step back to down dog. We're doing this in long breaths in. So notice my left leg reaches up. Long inhale. Step the left foot forward next to the pinky. Long exhale. I'm going to move my right foot over and turn it as anatomically in as I can. I'm going to grab my blocks. Because we're just learning here and it doesn't even matter. I like to practice this way. I've been practicing 15 years. And this just feels wonderful. Yeah, actually 17 years. Wow. Been at Rafa for 15 years. Bring your hands to the blocks. Pull the left hip back. Press down through the outer edge of the right foot. Now feel that. Don't let that hip slide out to the side. Keep pulling it back, pull it back. And then, you know what I was talking about, like this U-turn yesterday in the first video. Think of the inside of the right thigh going forward and the outside plugging in. Now that you have this stance, you have this foundation, reach the right arm forward, reach the left arm forward, rise up into your warrior one, Virabhadrasana 1. Feel the strength in those legs, keep rolling that inner thigh of the right back. Gaze up, maybe turn the pinkies in, so you're still wrapping those elbows in. Now bring your hands to the floor. Step back to downward facing dog once more. Inhale in. Exhale, step forward to the top of the mat. Pull your body into that halfway lift. Now we're adding the chair pose in today, so here's your exhale, sit low. We're going to stay here as you inhale in chair pose. You're going to stay here as you exhale. Beautiful. Take another breath in. Reach up, stand tall, empty. Hands to heart. Great. Inhale, rise tall. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale into a halfway lift. I'm going to bring my blocks out. I'm going to take my time and step back to down dog. I'm going to come into warrior 2 this time. And I'm going to step in very slowly, the same way we did with warrior 1. Virabhadrasana 2. Reach the right leg high on inhale. Exhale, step the right foot forward. Spin the left foot flat. And then as you rise up, bring your right heel right in line with the left heel or the left arch. Now keep reaching that right inner thigh forward and keep right inner thigh forward, so keep push that knee forward and then pull the back edge of that hip in. Now when you do that, then notice here a lot of us, our hips come up. Drop that left hip down and then start to root up, root down with the feet and rise up to the crown of your head. So again, sthira, strength, discipline, power from the hips to the feet. From here, let the breath flow. We worked on the ujjayi breath. Now the arms open, but relax the shoulders down, but the fingers are on. Yeah. I could just stay right here. It feels good, it feels good. It feels like you're really standing in your space. So even if you just suddenly, in the middle of the day when we start to feel all blah, just get into this position right here. Maybe you want to bring your hands to heart, reach your arms up. Practice the ujjayi breath, press down. Inhale, hands to heart. Exhale. Now here we are with what we call reversing the warrior. Notice that the more I reach back, the more I press forward with my knees. So I've got this duality of my right arm reaching back as my right inner thigh is reaching forward. And then this was where it gets kind of fun. So I'm going to windmill. They say windmill your hands down to vinyasa through. I'm just bringing my arms down. The vinyasa through, if a teacher tells you, is just connecting your poses in between each side. So windmill your hands down. Now here's my vinyasa through. Feet to the floor, high plank, knees down. I'm going to take a chaturanga on my knees. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, roll back. Great. Now you're going to come into the other side. Take the left leg up. Take the left foot forward, step it forward, spin the right foot flat. And then rise up into warrior 2. Now I'm going to switch sides so that you can see me. Again, I have, and you could use the edge of your mat, right? Use the edge of your mat. Notice if I put both heels on the edge of my mat, and I want to anatomically turn in the back of that right foot as much as I can, right? And then I see a lot of students do this. I'm like, oh, you're surfing. Come out of that surf, rise up, drop that right hip down, and settle in. Keep reaching that knee forward out to pinky toe. Now, if you do that, notice my big toe mound pushes up. You'd have to zoom in to see that. So I want to push my big toe mound down. I want to find all 4 points of that foot that we spoke about. Press them down into the mat. The foot doesn't move, but the inner thigh directs the knee out to the pinky toe. I know, it's a lot, but it's all good. Let's practice that Ujjayi breath again. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Feels good. Now let's reverse the warrior back. Let's bring everything down to the mat. High plank, chaturanga, cobra, down dog. Take a couple of breaths in. Take a couple of breaths out. Beautiful. Excellent. Bring your knees to the floor. Awesome. Good job. Good job, good job. These are also a nice way to feel like you want to connect with someone. I know a couple of my students were like, oh yeah, that's short and sweet, and they're advanced, but just being able to put this video on, and to hear my voice, just allow them to feel a connection before they're actually heading into the hospital, right? Karen, Beth. Okay, so here's another really good way for you to get into your hips. Now, a lot of times, teachers will be like, oh, they're kind of running out of time. So, frog pose, we did pigeon yesterday. So today we're going to do frog. I don't want to take up too much of your time in these videos. I'm going to grab my blocks. Hey, you know what? You're home. Grab a whole bunch of pillows if you want. Grab a bunch of blankets. Grab your big furry dog. Right? Just find something here. Do you have a bolster? Because you ever go to restorative yoga and you've got this big bolster and you're kind of lying on top of it? You could do that too. But I'm just going to use my blocks right here. And I'm in frog position. I like to tell my students, think of yourself in geometry class all the time. So 90-degree angles. I've got 90 degrees. Ankle to knee. Knee to hips. Now as I come forward and I have those toes active, I'm going to relax my head. If I want to deepen the position, I pull my hip creases back as I reach my sternum forward. I think you've got this now. We talked about this a lot. We talked about this in, I don't know if I'm in the camera. I'm going to come back. I'm out of the camera, I think. Okay, here I am. We talked about this in child's pose. We talked about this in dolphin prelude with our elbows back. We talked about this in embryo. So again, this one is more for the hips. So as I come down, I'll push my hip bones back as I reach my sternum forward, and there's your attention line there. You've been in here a while. I've been talking a lot. So to come out, you're going to bring your knees in nice and gentle. Unroll your mat. And we're going to come down, and our twist and our back opener is all going to be combined in one. When I come down onto my mat, we are going to come into bridge pose. Grab a block if you have one, or a couple of rolls of toilet paper. And I'm going to put my block underneath my sacrum area right here. It's kind of high. You don't have to go that high. But if you can, please, yeah, go up there. Right on my sacrum. My fingers are reaching down to my heels. Now, can you see this block here? Watch what I did. I'm going to take my tailbone and lengthen my tailbone. I'm going to put it right here. Lengthen my tailbone. There it goes. Lengthening my tailbone towards the backs of my knees. Oh my God, that feels so good. Feels so good. So did you see what I did? I Elvis tilted my hips like forward, and I moved the block forward. So you see the block is stretching my sacrum. Oh, that's exactly what I needed. Then I'm going to reach down and take the block out. I'm going to take my left leg up and place it onto my right thigh. You just maybe take your elbows. This kind of helps you, especially you're new to this practice. Now bring your hips down. Take your right foot, walk it over to the right. Walk your right foot over to the right, over to the right, over to the right. And let your hips roll over to the left. Now, while you're here, I'm going to turn my head towards the right. And I want you to take your right hand and reach your right arm forward as you take one long Ujjayi breath in. And exhale, relax the hand down. Again, reach the right hand up as you inhale. Reach, 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 reach. And then relax it down. Do that often. You're lying down watching TV. If you start to get kind of blue throughout these times, put on some music, lay down, just stretch. Just stretch. Or put my video on. I miss you guys. Come back center. Good. And then rise up. And let's be real here. I'm feeling it too. I'm feeling it too. I walked in, I was like, oh, I think I'm going to paint. I was going to force myself to paint. And then I said, I'm not going to paint. I'm not going to paint. Place your ankle on your thigh. Reach forward through the right knee. And then lower down. Walk the left foot all the way over and let your legs fall to the right. What lifted me yesterday, and is what I was trying to tell my girlfriends today in a message, was I put music on. And I went into a zone, and it was a wonderful zone. I don't know if you guys listen to East Forest. I love East Forest. I play a lot of his music in my classes. I use him a lot for restorative. But let me tell you, it put me in my zone, and before I knew it, I had paintbrushes in my hand, I had a blank canvas in front of me, and I didn't know what I was going to do. But an hour later, I felt fantastic. Great, so come all the way back. So just know you are not alone. You are not alone throughout this. You're not. You know, I'm really blessed that I have my whole family here. All right. And then relax your legs out. And this is the most important pose that you could take. This is corpse pose. They say that this is the most important pose in a yoga practice. Relax your arms. I like to say to my students, open your hands to receive. Close your eyes. And you want to stay in that position. You want to stay in that position for at least 5 to 8 minutes, to the point that you actually could feel that you've slowed your breath down so much, and that you could feel your heartbeat. You could hear a clock ticking in the back. You could hear things going on around you. You could hear wind chimes outside your window. I could hear the owl, like in the woods. I might call my pet owl hoo-hoo. Hoot-hoot. And that's it. So you're not alone. You're not alone. This is the first time I really spoke about this. I think we're all starting to get hit by it. Bring your hands to heart center. And try to always go back to your 3 greatest treasures that I like to talk about a lot. Your 3 greatest treasures: simplicity, patience, and compassion. Think about that. Think about all that you could do with those 3 words: simplicity, patience, compassion. You've got this. I love you all so much, and I miss you. And I miss Rafa Yoga. I miss the studio. I'm a big hugger, so I miss being able to hug everyone. But stay safe. Learn a couple of new things. And then just try to do some things with your time that you're given here. Love you all. Mwah. Namaste.